So today we're going to go and make a really cheap, easy to build sled for flattening boards. So here we go. The first thing we did is we went and we got ourselves a couple of these little guys. Just bought them straight off the shelf. And all we're really worried about is actually being able to put the router directly into the rails so it slides smoothly. So then we measured the router base and we cut one of these for the top and one of these for the bottom. So that way it slips in directly down here, which will give us a little edge to go and keep our alignment as we're going along so we don't slide completely off from the sled. And this will basically get us going. So I'm going to dig into this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together. These are just some cut-offs that we had. As you notice, I already went ahead and drew the lines so that way it seats in perfectly when we get done. So just throw a little bit of glue on. Now we're going to go ahead and put a liberal amount of glue on the small part, and then spread that out with a glue spreader. Get a nice even coat on there, and then attach it where our lines are. The lines are really important because that's how wide your rails are. So this way this is perfectly centered. Now right here we're doing a little bit of measurement to determine how big our rails are going to be to make sure that our router can meet the actual board that we're going to be working with. And now we're going to go ahead and cut our plywood, which is 1/2-inch plywood. We can go ahead and start getting our rails and getting it set up for the sled that we're going to be using to mount the cutting board in that we're going to be leveling out. Or planing, depending upon what you want to call it. And this is the bottom of the sled. This is where we're going to be attaching our rails to. We used pin nails and glue in order to be able to get that all assembled. So now we're going to go ahead and measure out where we're going to be putting our holes and where the end of the stops are. And drilling a few holes in there. And then we're just going to go ahead and countersink those holes so that way we have a nice smooth fit for the screws, so that way we don't wind up getting caught on them. And then we're going to use the holes that we already drilled and drill directly into the stop itself, so that way it's a nice perfect fit. Now we're just going to go ahead and put our screws in. We're going to be using 2 screws on this part. This will keep it nice and level and even, so it won't wiggle around. That's the last thing you want to have happen while you're planing. And now we get to go and try it out. We're going to go ahead and throw some double-sided tape on here. This is actually used for bowl turning. Got this over at the local Rockler. Just going to put that on both sides of the cutting board to make sure that it's nice and stable. We don't want this thing moving around at all. And then we'll put our little shim underneath there to balance it out so that way it stays nice and level while we're routing. There's our little shim there on the bottom. That's nice and stable. We're just going to go and give it a little press. Make sure that it doesn't slide around at all. That looks like that should be about good. Isn't going anywhere. My lovely assistant's doing a little check herself. So now we're going to go ahead and get some clamps and clamp our sled to the work table. This will keep the sled itself from moving around. This is a pretty quick process for the most part. Now we're going to go ahead and apply some paste wax to the rails. This will make sure that our router can slide nice and smoothly right along. That way we don't have any sudden stops while we're routing. We want to make sure it's nice and smooth the whole way through. I'm just going to go and do a little test here. Seems really smooth. Glides like it's on glass. Perfect. Let's get some routing done. Now we're going to go ahead and check with a straight edge to make sure that we don't have any light coming through. Just going to check the various parts here just to make sure. And that is looking really good. Alright, I hope you enjoyed our video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We got some more cool videos coming out here really soon. As you can see, got this beautiful cutting board video that's going to be coming out. As soon as we get that out, we're going to go ahead and put a link to it here at the end of the video. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon as well. And that way you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Until next time, keep on working.